Matt Bernier for RacingPicks.com, taking a look at three selections for Saturday, August the 22nd. Two from Saratoga Racecourse, one from the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club, a couple of grade ones sprinkled in. But we'll start off with race number 4 up at the Spa. It's a $20,000 open claiming event, a mile and an eighth on the main track. You have a few horses in here who perhaps the connections at first, early on in their careers, thought they would turn into bigger and better for one reason or another. It really never came to fruition, never materialized. Here they are in this open $20,000 claiming level. At a mile and an eighth, I think the key to the race is the number 5, Majid. And the interesting thing about Majid, not only did he run just a few days ago, but he won by open lengths on August the 19th up at Saratoga, going this very trip out at a mile and an eighth. The key for Majid is making the lead. If he doesn't make the front, he is not going to run. He is 5 for 12 lifetime. All 5 of those victories have come when he has been able to dictate terms on the front end, and it looks like there's a real scenario where he does the same thing on Saturday afternoon. Also a positive for Majid. His new connections, they tend to do well with this sort of move. Past 5 years, dirt route winner last out first after claimed bye. 5 for 16, 8 in the money, 241 ROI. He's 8-1 on the morning line. I don't know that he goes off at 8-1 because it does look like he's a pretty likely contender anyway to be forwardly placed, if not outright on the lead, which again, fingers crossed, is what we're looking for here. But I'm going to go right back to the well. I liked him earlier this week in the write-up, which you found over on RacingPicks.com. I like him again on Saturday. Let's go with the number 5, Majid, at 8-1 in the 4th at Saratoga on Saturday. Now we move on to the Grade 1 action, race number 9. It's the Grade 1 Fourstardave, a mile on the inner turf course. Many times races are as much about eliminating who you don't want as opposed to who you actually really like. And I go through this field. I said it after they ran the Maker's Mark mile down at Keeneland. I wasn't sold on the race despite the fact that the figures came back fast and you had good horses in there. And it'll either end up being, in my opinion, a negative key race or a positive key race. I'm still of the opinion, until we see horses come out of it, that it's going to end up being a bit of a negative race, and who knows, maybe Saturday I'll look silly by saying that, but that means I don't want Raging Bull, I don't want Emma, and I don't want Without Parole. On top of that, I don't want Uni, who is exiting the Grade 1 just a game. Yes, she was pace compromised, and she's a fantastic mare when she has that big kick and she has a little bit of pace to run at, but I'm just a little bit curious about the form of that just a game because we've had 2 runners come out of it, and they've both kind of stunk up the joint. So Uni at a short price, I respect her. She can win. I'm going to be against her in a spot like this. Same goes for Got Stormy, who won this race last year. I recognize she needs really hard, firm turf. I'm just of the opinion she's not the same mare that she was last year when she was absolutely decimating these fields, beating up on the boys. You know the drill by now. So that leaves just a few other options. You've got Chewing Gum on the outside, who I think is a really talented horse for Bill Mott, but this feels like it might be a little bit of a tough position for him to be in. And you have the number 5 Halliday for Todd Pletcher. I think he's potentially exposed against graded stakes types. Having said that, I think he should be forwardly placed. I think they need to send him and put him right on the lead and say, come and catch me. But I don't like him either. Where am I going to go? Process of elimination. The number 7 Valid Point is another one in here for Chad Brown. And Chad has always thought highly of this horse. Visually, he was very impressive winning the Grade 1 Secretariat as a 3-year-old last year at Arlington Park. Came back, didn't have the cleanest trip in the Shadwell Turf Mile at Keeneland. Keeneland can be a little bit of a quirky turf track. I'm not going to hold that against him. Lengthy layoff, comes back in the Grade 3 Poker, buried down inside in an oddly run race where the pace on paper didn't seem like it was that fast, but the last and second to last place runners throughout much of the run ended up finishing first and second. So almost counterintuitive, and so far that form has held up reasonably well. I think second off of a lengthy layoff, Chad knew who else was going to be in here from his barn and from other barns. For them to run Valid Point in this spot, I think is a vote of confidence, and he's going to be a great price. I would imagine far and away the longest of the 4 Chads anyway. The number 7, Valid Point for me. He's 12-1 on the morning line for Chad Brown and Javier Castellano in the 9th at Saratoga on Saturday. That's the Grade 1 Fourstardave. Now, move out to the West Coast. I know the Pacific Classic is being run. I know Maximum Security is back. And you know what? I tell you what. This is not a real sort of vote of confidence. But if I were going to bet on anyone in that race, the Pacific Classic, it would be the number 3, Miraneke. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. The horse coming from Argentina. It looked okay in some of the tape that I saw. I'm not sold. I mean, look, Maximum Security should win this race, But if he doesn't win, I don't really love any of the other options. So I would just go, again, process of elimination, the 3, Miranike, however you want to pronounce that. But that's not really why we're going out to Del Mar. We're going out to Del Mar for the race prior. Race number 9, the Grade 1 Del Mar Oaks. 3-year-old filly's going 1 1/8 on the turf. And I think there's a filly in here who has been a little bit unlucky given some of the circumstances in the races that she's run in recently. And she's going to be my play of the day on Saturday. That's number 7, Red Lark, for Patty Gallagher and Drayden Van Dyke. She's 12-1 on the morning line. I think she's the kind of horse who is going to appreciate a fast pace and this added ground out to 1 1/8. I think she's been a little bit unlucky in each of her last 2 runs where the pace hasn't really materialized. These other girls have gotten the head start on her 2 starts back. She ran into Toinette and older horses in that Grade 3 Wilshire, and I thought she ran just fine to finish second. Comes back in the N1X down at Del Mar most recently. The girls who finished 1 and 2, yes, they're back in this spot, but they got the head start on her chasing soft fractions. She projects to get a faster pace, and she projects to get out to that 1 1/8, the distance, in my opinion, that she should be better suited for. The number 7, Red Lark. She's going to be the play of the day on Saturday, August the 22nd, out at Del Mar. Race number 9, the Grade 1 Del Mar Oaks, 12-1 on the morning line. For this and daily write-ups from myself, Andrew Champagne, among others, make sure you head on over to RacingPicks.com. Good luck this weekend.